Alright, let's see if this works. Now, in theory, it should make landfall within the next, I'm gonna guess, 7 minutes or so. So I'm gonna update this shortly. Just trying to catch on the stream real quick. There we go. Okay. Let's see if this is working in the first place. If you all can hear me, just let me know. Seems to be working in some places. Okay. There we go. YouTube is working. So yeah, we're looking at Chido right now, which is approaching Mayotte. I do not remember how to pronounce it. And it's about to make landfall. Keep in mind this imagery is around 20 minutes out of date, so it is probably making landfall as we speak right now. I don't know its population. I'm gonna try and figure that out. Right around 320,000 people live on that island. So this does show that the storm is moving a bit more south than forecasted, meaning its center is over here, and it's moving a little bit quicker than forecasted. Which means if you extrapolate that, it could make landfall more south than initially forecasted. But also, since it's moving a bit faster, that means it's going to have less time over those very warm waters and good favorable conditions, so there's good news with that, but the main populated city is going to be Pemba. Up there, Nacala is a little bit too far south to get really the brunt, the main impacts. Waiting to see if there's a single chat message. Yep, we are very close to a landfall. Probably going to occur within the next 5 minutes. It's likely a major cyclone at this time, so around Category 3 strength. It's been trying to get its act together ever since it entered the Mozambique Channel. Still has a good amount of time left until it makes its final landfall wherever it does in Mozambique. We can actually take a look at a forecast on when that will happen. I'm going to use a model called the HAFS to try and take a look at when it will hit. There we go. Wait, is this not updated? Hold on. Yeah, okay, that's not updated. Never mind. Let me try and use something else. There we go. Now this is more updated. So it does accurately predict that the island Mayotte does get hit from the storm. So let's extrapolate this further. This does seem like it does a good job at predicting the timing as well. So still it's impacting the Comoros Islands through the let's say, okay, I'm trying to think again. Alright, through the night, and it's starting to ease over like the late night hours for you all there. And then impacts in Mozambique could start during the AM hours to possibly early morning hours of the 15th for you all there in terms of the outer bands. Oops, let me just move that. Okay. So as you can see, there's some outer bands already impacting, not the main core. The main core is still offshore at that time. If we go forward, and it seems like it should make landfall at around the afternoon, evening time frame, potentially, on the 15th. South of, let's see, where is that? South of Pemba. I keep forgetting the way that the winds flow. This would bring a storm surge to Nacala, so that's going to be the at least the largest population zone getting impacts from it. Of course, any population in the path here, including Pemba, and all these little towns should be paying very close attention to any shifts, any wobbles in the forecast. Lee Baller asks, is it getting stronger again? It appears so. It does have a very favorable environment ahead of it. Well, not very favorable, but decent. So, Half's model doesn't have it strengthening until around the last 6 hours or so, until landfall. So we could see it try and rapidly intensify in the very final moments. It's just something to look out for. And then the Half's model does have it moving into Malawi and then back over Mozambique as a tropical depression and then just a cluster of thunderstorms. But yeah, it does make it inland quite a ways as a powerful storm. Let's see. The half-say model does have it nearly reaching Category 5 status and then striking as a powerful Category 4 in Mozambique, so that is a possibility. It could be weaker, of course. We'll have to wait and see. HWRF, same thing. It does have it a little bit weaker, though, as in a high-end Category 3. And it does have it peaking as a Category 4 before striking land. Let's take a look at the rainfall totals that could fall from this system. Fortunately, it is moving fast, so unfortunately, wind impacts will be extended further inland. But the good news is the flooding, which is going to be the typically most dangerous part of these storms, won't be as bad. Shouldn't be, at least. Let's go over to millimeters. So this is the European model. And it does show some areas getting upwards of around 200 millimeters of rain. And then you can see the area of around 75 millimeters, 50 millimeters or higher. So it's not a tremendous amount. But of course the rain does penetrate pretty far inland. Wherever the cluster of thunderstorms goes, you can see it. Down here towards Zimbabwe. I'm curious about the Arome model. Okay, it doesn't go that far out, unfortunately. Now, the problem with this model is it has it a little bit too far north. The system is making landfall right over here. I forgot to do the sound effect. Let me do that real quick. There we go. So, I'd say it's made around a Category 3 landfall. Probably 100 to 105 knots. This imagery is out of date by around almost 30 minutes now. So it's likely moved over land at this time. Crutch Spam says, what do you think peak was? Okay, that's debatable. It's probably 135, 140 knots. XL Digital Gamer says if it did made it into Malawi, I wish it won't cause a disaster like Freddy's. Hopefully, this system doesn't cause that bad of flooding because it's moving so quickly. Like just in 24 hours, it's going to move. I know that this is in miles, but around 360 miles. So let me just do some basic math. 15 miles an hour. So I mean, it's moving, it's not stalling, if that makes sense. Oops, alright. And Crouch Spam says reasonable. Yep. I see a lot of people debating, saying, oh yeah, it's a definite Category 5, all that stuff. I'm not so sure. Its peak was very brief before it started. I mean, cloud tops weren't that great, all that stuff, so um, I know that the eye was pretty clear. Let me check something off screen real quick. Just trying to make sure. Okay. Now, if you have any more questions about the storm and its future, be sure to ask them in the chat. I'd be happy to answer. Alright, looking at this newest frame, yeah, we can see it's pretty much made a landfall at this point. Its center should be over land. Okay, this is still not updated, but cyclonic weather is. We can see, yep, that's pretty much a dead hit. I'm curious if we have observations there. I heard somebody posted something about it, so yeah, that's a pretty uh, decent. Oh, wow. Okay, there we go. Observation over here, 984 millibars. This was as of 6 minutes ago. Okay. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna post it. Because I know that that can't really be accurate there where that is. Or where that observation's getting. Or hold on. It might actually be the eye wall, not eye. It's this station right there. So yeah, now they're about to, or if they're not already, they could already be getting walloped by the back eye wall. Too early to say. Yeah, Crouch Spam says 984 seems to be a bit too high. Yep. Yeah, you can see where the station is compared to the storm. Man, that's a pretty solid landfall there. Curves more south than forecasted towards the very end. Now I've gotten one more stream to go on this storm before it's finally done. Now this next one I should be a lot more energized for, a lot more ready. Oh boy, wait, never mind. Yeah, I should be. Yep. Okay. If we look at this, 7 p.m. my time, 7 p.m. So wait, no, no. Oh my. Okay, that would be 7 in the morning. Ugh. Okay, that's annoying. Thought that would be 1 in the morning. Or wait, hold on. Wait, never mind. Never mind. Let's go. Okay, or sorry, just for awakeness, 7 p.m., 7 a.m. There we go. 1 a.m. Yes, there we go. So I'm good. I'm good for this next one. I can actually see what time it's forecasted. Oh, that's even better. Around midnight my time. So start the stream maybe at 11, maybe at 10. But yeah, again, if any of you guys have any more questions, just be sure to ask. Let's take a look at its environment going forward. So yeah, shear's going to be pretty low for a while. It's going to continue dropping up until its landfall point. So really conditions get very favorable up until landfall. So the system could rapidly intensify in the very last few moments before landfall, right in here. Just something to really look out for. Sea surface temperatures get even warmer. And dry air though. I mean, it's kind of it's not that great. Not that bad. Oh, whoops. Okay. My bad. There we go. Now let me actually add that counter again. So if it's midnight that it makes landfall, let me just ask something. One, 2, 7, 7. Let me try this again. Alright, then let me add another 7 once it syncs up. Oh, dang it, okay, that didn't really sync that well, but there we go. That's how much time until the next landfall. So Mozambique has less than a day to prepare. But really, preparation should be completed by tonight for you all there. Because, of course, once by tomorrow morning, conditions will again deteriorate, and tomorrow morning it's over at that point. You don't have that much time to really prepare or anything, just the conditions are already too bad to go outside. Today's really your last day to get preparations completed. So by tonight, you all should be prepared, have your furniture indoors, all that kind of stuff. Again, this system is not just affecting the coast, those in Balama as well. Further inland areas are also going to get some pretty strong impacts from the system. Cyclone strength winds are likely to extend pretty far inland. And then same with tropical storm force winds as well. Here's a decent example here. This is the European model. It does have it strengthening in the very last few moments before landfall. But as you can see here, though, they do have Category 2 strength winds, making it decently far inland. Same with Category 1. And then, of course, damaging winds, penetrating pretty far inland, and then tropical storm force winds, extending very far inland. You can see its entire path right in there. So yeah, gusty conditions are likely all throughout its path into Zimbabwe. This is, of course, the area as well of heavy rainfall. But this just goes to show that because it's moving at a decent speed over flat land, it's going to push those winds pretty far inland. Alright, so that is pretty much it. It's now trying to move away from land and now go back over the waters. I'm curious though if this is helping, hurting, or not affecting the system at all. I'm just curious though that the vertical heat towers, though, those convective bursts are firing all around the islands right now. So I'm just curious if the island is helping with that or not. You can see there's a little bit of dry air in here because of these outflow boundaries, these little lines that go through. We might be able to detect that on this water vapor product. Yep, right there. A lot of dry air to the east now. All this black color, this void. Dry air is lessening up over Mozambique, but that is going to be a little bit of a limiting factor as it gets closer. But this band is helping shield it from any more dry air. Of course, it sucked in Madagascar's dry air earlier today. Also, there are some other disturbances around the world. So I'll just cover them real quick from least important to most important. So we have 95P, just a disturbance going out to sea, post-tropical. Could impact the Cook Islands. We have 93S, which is just a little swirl that's going to be going out to sea. Not doing much. We have it as a 10% chance. We then have, let's say this one right here, 91B. We've given around a 20 to 30% chance of developing as it approaches India. Could become, a brief tropical depression or storm before impacting southern India, similar to Fengal. So, not too much impacts other than possibly rain. And then over here we have our next Philippine disturbance, 96W, which could become a typhoon or even major typhoon. It's too far out to say right now. It's going to go by Palau and go down near Mindanao, I believe, and then we don't know what it's going to do next. So its future is pretty uncertain, but it could become something significant, so something to definitely watch out for if you're in the southern half of the Philippines. And then our most important system, Chido. Chido. Oh, new cone just came out. Perfect. Okay, this is perfect timing. So they have the system at 130 miles an hour, category 4. I disagree with that. And they still have it maintaining strength and then weakening to a category 2 right over here. Now, so they're likely predicting a category 2 to 3 landfall in Mozambique, so that means we'll be streaming. Again, it only needs to be a Cat 1 for us to stream. They still have it as a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm inland, so decent tropical storm, and then around a 30-mile-an-hour remnant low. There, so let's see if we can take a look at their new cone that came out. There we go. Okay. So here you can see this is just the center, basically, where the center is forecasted to go. So here's a look at where the winds would go, the cyclone strength winds. Right there, and then they'd likely end somewhere. And here, this is if the center went there. Now if we look at, actually I'm going to undo this again. So typhoon force winds would go something like this. And this is if the center follows that path, okay, that little blue line. Now if we go over to damaging winds, this is stuff like trees down, power outages, that kind of stuff. We can see again, this would extend decently far inland. Something like that, and you can see it impacting some of the Comoros Islands as well. And then if we go over to tropical storm force winds, right here, a lot more of the area getting tropical storm force winds. Probably something like this. So this is what it would look like if it followed the center, like dead on. Like if it hit it 100% there. Now this can shift a lot, and a lot can vary, so really, if you're in that little cone, anywhere in this area, this is kind of the impacts that you could get. So Nacala should be always ready to go if in case it hits as a cyclone strength winds. Same thing with Pemba to its north. Could get some cyclone force winds, but if the center were to follow their track perfectly, if this was a perfect forecast, you can see where the strongest winds would occur. But once again, this could vary drastically if it goes any more to the south, any more to the north. Alright, well, that is pretty much it. Again, we'll be doing a live stream likely on, let's see when that timing is. Likely at around tomorrow night-ish, within the next 20 or so hours, maybe 19 hours. So thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next storm, which will be this one. See you all soon.